Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today's December 14th, and right now we're looking at the infrared satellite imagery, taking a replay here of what went on the day today. Look at these twin storms. I've kind of named them this here, given them a nickname. The December 2024 twin storms. Powerful low pressure bringing strong high winds across a lot of the Pacific Northwest, including British Columbia and Washington, and a potent storm that brought a tornado to portions of California, some very heavy rainfall, and some large waves up and down the west coast of North America. So jumping into things a little bit, look at some of these wind speeds here. I actually saw a 71 mile per hour gust there for Whidbey Island. We had some of the ferries shut down. You can see some gusts in excess of 60 miles per hour and a lot of widespread 50 mile per hour or greater gusts across some of southwest BC. That's when the wind damage starts to occur. And if we take a look here, you can see we've got plenty of 50 plus mile per hour gusts out there as well. We had 47, I think, at SeaTac, 49 at my house there, just to the west of SeaTac. We had some 60s a little bit farther south there as well. But which one is this one? We got Camano Island checking in at an impressive 64 mile per hour gust. I saw 45 knot gusts at Everett, which is, I think, about 53 miles per hour. Someone check my math on that. And if we look further south, check out Southwest Washington, got into the act also. I saw some 60s out here if this would like to load for us. Let me go ahead and update that one more time, and we're going to do observations, and we'll go to historical, and we will go to max wind gust and check this out one more time. Yeah, look at that. Long Beach, 62 miles per hour. Looks like 61 here at Hoquiam Airport there. And look at that 66 there at Clatsop Spit, just off to the west of Astoria. I didn't see what Astoria, impressive 63 miles per hour there at US 101 northbound Astoria. So a very potent storm, no doubt. Still some coastal flood advisories out now. I don't know if they're going to extend these on into tomorrow, but the king tides will be back tomorrow, but the waves won't be near as high. But I did see some pretty impressive flooding there right on the coastal areas, just north of Ocean Shores, for example. There was a hotel and some roads that were underwater and whatnot, no doubt because the king tides and things not draining properly, and still some big waves ongoing as we speak. Still got some winter weather advisories and a winter storm warning still for portions of Skagit and Whatcom County. And Medford, Oregon, this goes on in through tonight here, and still the dangerous high surf is still ongoing, so careful if you're out there. And Pendleton just kind of wrapping up some winter weather advisories for the higher terrain. Calling attention here to Monday, it looks like we're going to get a little bit of snowfall that could get down. Look at Moses Lake, Ritzville 1 to 2 on the National Weather Service latest forecast. Let me zoom in there. You can see Spokane 1 to 2, Wilbur 1 to 2, Chelan, Wenatchee getting a bit. So it might not amount to much, but again, it doesn't take much to make things slick, and it may look pretty nice. Look at that, Yakima checking in 1 to 2 inches, and one of the models actually showing some bigger amounts around here as well. Take a look at that at the end of the video. Looking at composite reflectivity, there goes our storm. We still have some showers behind it, but let's get that beast out of here. That was enough for one day. A lot of power outages. I saw an excess of 80,000 power outages. I know a whole bunch of people are without power across British Columbia also. But as we go on in through Sunday night into Monday morning, no rest for the weary. Another frontal system rolling in here, some mountain snows. And that's what's going to bring that snow threat there to eastern Washington, at least on the day Monday there. So I could bring a couple inches of lower elevation snowfall across some of the Columbia Basin. And then we've got more systems out here. So stay tuned for that. We are not done. No rest for the weary as we go through the upcoming week. Now, this is the 18Z Euro that you can see our very potent storm, and the one for California as well. Strong winds across the region, burrowing into some of the coastal areas here, and some of the interior areas getting quite windy also. So that storm finally getting out of here as we go through tonight. Then we've got the next frontal system up. It's got a little bit of a punch here, but definitely not as strong as the last one. You can see the parent low is well off to the west, so that is not a threat for huge winds here across the region. But as we scroll out a bit further, look at this Bear Clinic boundary here, and this could pack some winds with it as well. These late breaking lows make me nervous. These are the ones that don't have to be that deep. If they take these favorable tracks, these can pack a punch and bring a very strong pressure rise behind the system as it dives inland. So we have to watch that one as we go through the upcoming week here. That would start to impact us as we go through the day Tuesday and on in through Tuesday night and into Wednesday potentially. So we'll watch that one very closely. A little bit more on that here in a moment. Then you look and scroll out into the extended and you see some other beasts out here rolling around pretty close to our coastline also. So we'll be watching those storms over the next few days as well. Now, looking at what was going on this morning, and this was just exacerbating some of the king tides and the huge wave activity. And again, I saw some coastal areas eroding, including a platform I went out on. I didn't realize that it was actually kind of slipping on into the ocean. You could actively see it happening as the waves were hitting. And again, that low pressure didn't help things, but that is getting out of here. Here we go on in through tonight, and you can see the pressure rising. So that's going to help keep a little bit of a lid on the tides for tomorrow. But then we've got the next systems rolling in here. But we'll get into that in a little bit more detail here in a moment. Now, looking at total precipitation in inches over the next 144 hours. This is just over the next 144. So here goes our next frontal system as we go on the day Monday. You can see some pretty good amounts here for some of the coastal areas. Vancouver, BC, there you go. Some of the Cascades of Washington, Oregon. Look at that, Portland getting up over maybe 3/4 of an inch there. A little bit of rain shadowing here across some of western Washington and eastern Washington. But then we've got additional systems rolling in here. And as we go through Tuesday night on into Wednesday, the precipitation just continues. And then maybe another system after that. Look at that, Seattle up over 3 inches just by the time we get on towards the midweek period. And big amounts across some of the coastal areas. We've got to watch out for flooding concerns. The Cascades, hopefully a lot of this wants to fall as snowfall. We'll see how that goes as well. Now, taking a look at 925 millibars, again, I just want to kind of show you the double-barreled lows here as they move inland. These are getting out of our hair. Then we have another frontal system coming here, and then one more that starts to come in here as we go through Tuesday and Wednesday. So no rest for the weary. We have additional storm systems rolling in here, and then one more time that big monster out over the coast. Now, taking a look at Quileute here. So this is that next storm system up. You can see some pretty impressive gusts starting to show up here, and the ensembles have some agreement with them as well. So we're going to be watching that one closely. Those late breaking waves can be very tricky. And what I mean by that is a late developing low pressure system there. A lot of times those will trend a bit deeper, and if they take favorable tracks, you don't need a 960, 970, 980 millibar low to really cause some problems. Now, looking at Astoria, you can see some of the ensembles have bigger gusts as well. This is Seattle, Tacoma. 40 showing up there, but you can see we have some potential here with this windstorm upcoming, and these can trend upwards. But again, we have to wait till tomorrow really before we start getting a better idea on what this is going to do exactly. And this is going to be Tuesday on in through Wednesday. So tomorrow is Sunday. We'll start to figure things out a bit more on Sunday. Pallingham, you can also see some high winds in there as we go on into the Tuesday, Wednesday timeframe. Down towards Portland right now, it looks like a lesser event here, but we'll continue to keep our eye on it. Now, taking a look here, this is that monster low that went through here, and then you can see our pressure rise behind it. We get a little bit of a break before the next one comes in tomorrow night, next frontal system there, and then we worry about this guy right here. It doesn't look like much, but you really have to watch those quick moving, fast pressure rise behind the system as they dive into the area, because it would only take a 990, 985 millibar low to really cause some problems taking that track. But again, kind of harping on that, but we'll watch it in the upcoming days. Now, this is why it was so wild at the coastline. You can clearly see these monster waves right off Washington, Vancouver Island, and portions of the Oregon coast. And that is moving on and finishing up through tonight. And as we go on into tomorrow morning, we are going to be relaxing those wave heights. And then you can see we have additional frontal systems and additional storms moving in here. So we're going to have some elevated wave action here as we go on into the mid portion of the week. And then who knows what's going to come after that. But you can see some big waves out of the Pacific Ocean getting a bit close to the west coast of North America there. And a little bit closer look at that. This is what we were dealing with today. That's why that beach erosion was going on and waves washing over things and some coastal flooding out there. And I have been mentioning this, the low pressure there, if you drop 1 millibar, if you've got a 1015 atmosphere versus a 985, that's a 30 centimeter difference, which means the tides will be about a foot higher, which makes a big difference if you're right on the coastal areas. And now taking a look at the extended forecast, wrapping things up a bit here, looking at the 18Z. So this is the storm system, and you can see the one going through California there. Then we get our next, it's just a kind of a standard frontal system there, but it will bring some rainfall. And then the next one comes rolling through there. That's the one I've been talking about. We'll watch that one to see if it's going to be a late breaking wave or if that's just going to completely wimp out as we go through tomorrow. But then look at the Gulf of Alaska trough, just continuing to pinwheel systems here at the west coast of North America. And my goodness, just someone start screaming mercy. Look at these systems just one after another as we continue on in through the month of December. It's kind of ridiculous there. And you can see how much this is flipped from just a few days ago when some of the models were just showing this massive ridge that just seemed to end all the weather here across Pacific Northwest versus what we have now. And again, just multiple storms. You can't even count how many storms the 18Z European Artificial Intelligence has going through here. So we could be remaining active through December. But again, we'll revisit that. You saw the ridge go away. Maybe those storms will go away too as we go on into the next few days. Now, taking a look at total precipitation in inches, we're just kind of having fun with this because I want to kind of scroll over the same time period here, and you can see this precipitation just looks like a never-ending deluge moving into the Pacific Northwest. Here we go to Christmas morning. Go on in through a period after Christmas, and look at this. You want another 7-8 inches here for Seattle by the end of the month, and you can see some big amounts across the higher terrain. So yeah, just kind of having fun with that. That's a fantasy forecast, but you can see that would be some very active weather here for the Pacific Northwest. Look at that total snow Kuchera ratio on the European. I do want to show Monday coming up here. Here we go through the day Monday. You can see pretty good probability of some light snow falling across some of the lower elevations. We'll revisit this again here tomorrow because this is not until Monday. But yeah, you can see it would look nice out there. And of course, there's a lot of traffic moving back and forth out there, and things could get slick if you start snowing on some of those streets. I don't know if it'll be quite cold enough to be sticking on a lot of the cement out there, but nonetheless, we do have that chance for some light snow. Excuse me. Now, taking a look at the total snow Kuchera ratio on the North American, you can kind of see it's a little bit more robust with some of these totals as you get just to the east of Moses Lake there. So yeah, we'll have to watch that one. We'll revisit that again tomorrow. And on a side note, of course, we're getting some decent amounts across some of the Cascades here over the next few days as well. This is the HRRR. Put that into motion, and you can see something similar there with some light snowfall occurring on Monday. If we take a look at the national blend of models, probably a good compromise here as we scroll on in through Monday again. Kind of some light snow out there, but yeah, just wanted to point that out. And I also want to point out some of the snowfall for the Cascades as we go through the upcoming week as well. So hopefully we can continue to build some of that snowpack there across the higher terrain. 6 to 10 day above average for the West. There's that above average precipitation. Shouldn't be any surprise to what we just looked at all the way through Christmas Eve. And this goes through the December 28th. Look at this above average across much of the west and central portions, and still that above average signal here as we go towards the end of the month. But anyway, I'm a bit tired here. So, I will wrap this video up. Hopefully you guys are faring okay. I know a lot of people are still without power. So yeah, I guess we're playing the waiting game for some areas and trying to get that power back on. But hopefully that gets on here quickly for you. I will try to make a video and try to share all the stuff that I saw today. Pretty active day. But what else? I will do my normal briefing tomorrow, and I will just go ahead and talk to you guys then. I'm going to wrap it up here and go take care of some things and probably go to bed because I woke up at 3 o'clock this morning to go out chasing. So anyway, have a good night here, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow morning.